Switch 2 massive info dump. Save this thread, I got a lot of info and I'm 100% accurate on every detail here. I went hands on the past week with the Switch 2 and learned a lot. So this is basically a compilation of weeks for the Switch 2. So yeah, Joy-Cons are half effect states, joysticks, and very smooth motion. Buttons sound quick like the first Joy-Con, more compatible to 3DS, 2DS, or the Switch Lite. Console has 258 gigabytes in storage in the version I used. Dock is the OLED dock, but slightly revamped to support the Switch 1 as well. But Switch 2 gets a pretty big performance as well. Here we'll have the 4 pads on the interior. I'm assuming they were to avoid scratching the screen. Kickstand is a 30 horse 2-hour kickstand, and the micro SD slot sits right under the middle of it when it kicks out. Switch 1 card fits into the Switch 2. Launch window titles. These are some big games here, including Street Fighter 6. That makes a lot of sense. It's a very popular game. The new Monster Hunter game, Monster Hunter World as well. The Resident Evil remakes, native versions, Final Fantasy VII Remake, which means another Sony exclusive lost to Nintendo. Final Fantasy 15 and Wolf Among Us. And of course, Mario Kart 9, Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom remasters. No mention of Silksong, believe me, I tried to find out. Now, it's more games in the second part. So these are games that, will be launch titles. Of course, remasters for Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. I think I won't be surprised if they'll bundle those together. And of course, Mario Kart 9 being a huge exclusive game. And also, the Switch will have a bigger launch title because I think third party companies are finally starting to realize that Nintendo is not a joke anymore. I think the reason why the Switch receives so little third party support compared to, let's say, the Wii or the DS, it's because of how poorly the Wii U sold. And heck, even the 3DS didn't get a lot of third-party support as well. Which is actually honestly kind of sad. No, anime boob games are not real third-party support, okay? We want actual third-party AAA games, okay, on Nintendo consoles, okay? Joy-Con Max are incredibly sturdy and button is placed, therefore will accidentally press it as well. eSub is empty, but it's a slightly different UI. Basically, the eSub is unavailable because the console's not out yet. Makes sense. As a test, Pro Control has been spruced up to include all the half-effect joysticks and a longer battery life alongside a solid color design. Console itself is now a color same throughout, including the Joy-Cons. Switch 1 Joy-Cons do not physically connect to the Switch 2, but wirelessly do. Bluetooth headphones work well with console support as well, which means Bluetooth headphones can work. I wonder if the Switch 2 get apps like Spotify and stuff, and especially the Nintendo Music app. I don't think it'll get Spotify. It'll have to be like with Nintendo Music. So yes, you can probably use Nintendo Music on Switch 2. My 8-bit controller that's connected does final GameCube controllers as well, which means there's like could be another Smash Bros. Game because Sakurai wants to make so the next Smash Bros. Game is compatible with GameCube controllers. 4K is always supported in docks and menus. I sold a Depth dock on the sword at once. Connecting controllers as well is far less annoying as you tap the sync button instead of going through some. It's very hard. It's very difficult. But other games in the launch windows but non-launch they include Elden Ring is coming to the Switch 2. Hi-Fi Lost, which is only on the Switch 1. Alan Wake 2, I don't think anyone's excited to play that game because it's made by Super Baby Inc. But Resident Evil 7 and Villains. Tekken 8, Slay the Spire 2, Wolf Among Us 2. The entire Yakuza series, Sekiro, Silent Hill 2 remakes, Shadow Fallen Orange Eye Survivor, Dead Space remake, NBA 2K, Tales of Arise, and for the first part, there's the Animal Crossing to be announced with the system, but has no release window or no official name, and there's a lot more games, but I can only list so many games as well. But all the N60, all the Switch Online stuff will be coming as well, which means you'll have access to all of the, Switch Online, N64, NES, SNES, Switch, Switch Online stuff, but not the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance, which is pretty interesting. The Switch 1 games see practically zero upgraded performance-wise. Frame locks are still in place, and the games do a better job maintaining frame rate. No boost with the PS5 did or PS4 games. Final Fantasy VII Remake is using upscaling techniques to get and HD rumbles is used nicely in that one. Street Fighter 6 looks good to play, and the final game I got to play was the 80s Resident Evil 4 Remake playing at 30 FPS, but looked as good as any other version on the handheld. It still felt super good to play with Joy-Cons, didn't get to play Mario Kart or even see it. And that's enough, and the announcement is coming next month for all of this is accurate. Again, there was a few major games missing, like Baldur's Gate 3, and of course, Back with Wukong as well, but, and I highly doubt Power World will be on here, obviously, but this is actually looks like a pretty good one. So you have huge games like the entire Yakuza series. Okay, you have the entire Street Fighter 6, the new Monster Hunter, Final Fantasy 15, Final Fantasy 7 remake. I wouldn't be surprised if Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth is also coming too, which means yes, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth could be on Nintendo Switch 2 probably in 2026. And no mention of indie games, which is surprising. And of course, no mention. Oh yeah, they did mention Elden Ring as well. Which means From Software will be putting games on the Switch 2. Which they did on the Switch 1 with Dark Souls as well. But yep. And also, every single Switch 1 game will be playable as well. So any game that's already available on the Switch 1 can be played on the Switch 2. Which means you'll have the entire library of games. If you already have like a Switch library, well, guess what? You don't have to just say, oh, we'll just talk a Breath of the Wild for a month until Mario comes out. They can play every single one of your Switch 1 games on the Switch 2. Which means if you don't want to wait for the next, if you don't want to wait for the next major Zelda game, well, guess what? You can still play the Switch versions, or you can just play the remastered versions. I'm not too surprised if they want to use Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom to be so off for the Switch too, because I think Nintendo's probably quite proud of both games, and they want they want to have like the 4K versions of the games. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see similar things to like Mario Odyssey happen as well. And they can just use those types of the 4K versions for like the fanboys and the collectors, obviously. And I think Breath of the Wild remasters for Tears of the Kingdom will be more for like collectors and diehard fans who want to play through the game in like higher resolution and stuff as well. Which means they probably won't sell like 40 million copies like the original version will, but for people who have never played a Nintendo console before, or for people who have never played Zelda before, or just want to play the game again in 4K, well, guess what? You guys got your options there. And yep, it looks like the Switch 2 will have a very good launch because this is a lot of games, especially third-party support, as well. And Mario Kart 9 being the big launch game makes a lot of sense because I think that's the game Nintendo has been making. I think Nintendo wants to get Mario Kart 9 as fast as possible, which is why they didn't make a Mario Kart 9 for the Wii, for the Switch, because they said, okay, let's update Mario Kart 8 instead of making Mario Kart 9 and save the next Mario Kart 9 game for the Switch. But yep, that's about this video here, and goodbye.